Welcome to NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy.
Hey, what's going on, football fans? This is your boy Brandon here with week 7 of NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. We're going to go ahead and get started. A few things I want to get to today. First is, I've been thinking, and I've just been thinking about, which team is Andrew Luck dying to go to? Or better yet, which team should Andrew Luck be dying to go to, but likely won't? And for me, I think Andrew Luck should be dying to go to the Indianapolis Colts. Here's why. The Indianapolis Colts, they don't have elite talent at wide receiver, but they do have some pieces in place that will really help that kid develop. But here's the main reason why. Here's the main reason why I say this. I know that, it's Andrew Luck, and, he's the greatest. He's one of the greatest prospects, since John Elway coming out of college. And given that, he's going to be the first overall pick. When you're the first overall pick, you're expected to come in and start right away. But here's why I think going to the Colts will help him be great. The reason is Peyton Manning. Who in their right mind wouldn't want to go sit under the tutelage of Peyton Manning? Arguably one of the top 5 QBs to ever play this game. If he sits a year under Peyton Manning and just learns and soaks up all of the knowledge that Peyton Manning has to offer, how good can Andrew Luck be? It's scary to think about. But that's the main reason why I say that. That's the main reason why I say Andrew Luck should be dying to go to the Indianapolis Colts. So it's just something to think about. And I'm sure everyone's not going to agree. They're not going to agree with me on that. I'm sure of that. But I just think that would be the perfect place for him to land. Now, that likely isn't going to happen because, the Colts, they're bad, but they're not worse than Miami. Miami's going to end up with the number 1 overall pick and possibly be 0-16 en route to that number 1 overall pick. I think this year, this could be the first season we could see a team go 16-0 and another team go 0-16 in the same season. Now, if that's happened before, I don't mind being corrected. Please let me know if I'm wrong. But to my knowledge, that has never happened in the NFL. One team going 16-0 and another team going 0-16. And the team that I'm referencing for 16-0 should go without mentioning, but everyone knows I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if they have as good a chance, or I don't know if their schedule aids them the way that the Patriots team that went 16-0 aided them, but I do think they have a legitimate chance to go 16-0. Now, granted, they're probably going to sit some starters in the last couple games of the season, but I really think they have a good chance of going 16-0. Moving on, I want to talk about the New York Giants for a second. They shocked everyone this past weekend. Well, not them, of course, but pretty much everyone else, and they beat the Buffalo Bills at home. Now, me, I didn't have them winning that game. I think I thought they were starting on one of those runs where they could possibly lose 4 or 5 games straight. But they came in, they showed up, and they won that game. Now, given that they are 4-2 and currently in the lead in the NFC East, I don't think I don't see this team. I don't see this team making the playoffs. One, because they're too inconsistent. And two, I think overall, and this may sound crazy to a couple people or to some folks, but overall, I think Dallas may be the most complete team in that division. Dating back to November of 2010, they have lost, what is it? I can't remember the number of games, but they've set an NFL record for games won or lost by 4 points or less. 4 points or less. It's an NFL record. This team, when they're firing on all cylinders, that offense can compete with the best in the NFL. I mean, they went toe-to-toe with the Patriots this past Sunday. I thought they were going to win that game. I had them winning that game, and they almost did win that game. But given how they performed, let's just take out the outcome of the game. Let's just scratch the outcome of the game. And if you don't look at the score, look at the ending score, but you just look how both teams performed. Dallas went toe-to-toe with New England. And I thought New England got outplayed until the final minutes of the fourth quarter when Tom Brady just, started doing Tom Brady things. But I thought Dallas outplayed the Patriots on both sides of the ball. I remember preseason, all the talk, all the hoopla was about Dallas's defense. But I got to tell you, through the first 6 weeks of the season, they've had as impressive defense as anyone in the league. They're number 1 against the run. And they've gotten healthy in the secondary, and they haven't been the best, but those guys on defense have played lights out. DeMarcus Ware has been remarkable. Sean Lee has been playing out of his mind. And, the defense as a whole has looked really, really good. And their schedule for the next 7 or 8 weeks, this team could easily go 6-1 or 7-0, starting this upcoming Sunday against the St. Louis Rams. I would be really, really shocked if this game ended up, being close for some apparent reason. Dallas should grab a hold of this one early and just run with it. I think they're going to dominate this game and get back to 500. But more on that later. More on that later during the picks. So, given that, I think that I just don't think the Giants are consistent enough to win the NFC East. I think the NFC East only sends one team to the playoffs this year, and that's the winner of the division, because other divisions are just too tough. You got the NFC South. I think both Tampa Bay and New Orleans are going to be in the playoffs. Atlanta, they've been disappointing this year, but they're going to be right there towards the end of the season, I believe. And I just think that division's too tough. And also the NFC North, where you got the Green Bay Packers and you have the Detroit Lions. So it's going to be extremely hard for the NFC East to send two teams to the playoffs. And I think the one team that does pull it off in the end is the Dallas Cowboys. You know? And to be honest with you, it's going to be wide open, but they're just the team that I think is going to pull it out in the end. You know, they've got a heck of an easy schedule coming up, easiest in the division, and you know, the Eagles, I'm going to give them a couple more weeks to you know, to prove to me that they're indeed back and on top of things. You know, beating the Redskins wasn't exactly something to write home about. Yeah, it was a division opponent, but you know, I believe the Redskins are and have been slightly overrated all season long. But you know, they've got a lot of questions at quarterback. You know, they went from Rex Grossman to John Beck, and you know, personally, I think they should have stuck with Grossman. Grossman's got much more experience as a starting quarterback in the NFL than John Beck does. And if you're trying to be competitive this year, personally, I just think Rex Grossman, given he and all his flaws, I think Rex Grossman gives you the best chance to win. But you know, that remains to be seen. Moving on. And this is one that I'm probably gonna catch a little flack about, but I'll tell you what, I'll save it. I'll save it for after Kennedy comes on with the Mayweather segment. I'll just tell you, it has to do with the 49ers, and it has to do with them being around come the end of the season. More on that after the Mayweather segment here on NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. Be sure to join us this week for a full recap of Week 7 right here, only on NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy.
Mayweather.
Hello, everybody. This is Kennedy back this week again with his weekly list of Mayweathers. Let me start off with the two coaches. The NFL's version of Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage. I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz. Them two almost fought after a game. It's actually funny to me because players usually don't. Players are always the ones that are ready to fight. But then you had these two coaches ready to fight. Two human beings who are very snippy, who are very agitative, who are very big rah-rah guys who already on the sidelines already look like they want to fight people. So now they want to fight each other. And most of you already saw the video. The game ended. The Lions lost. Jim Harbaugh was all pumped, ready to take off his shirt. And Jim Schwartz, losing, went over to shake his hand. So he goes over there to shake Jim Harbaugh's hand. And Jim Harbaugh gives him the, hey, get the hell out of my way type of handshake. And pats him on the back, but not pat him on the back, but just kind of move, bitch, get out the way type of pat on the back. And Schwartz had a problem with that. And seeing that his team just lost and he didn't like the way, I guess he disrespected him in Ford Field with that little handshake, he wanted to get in his face. And he said something to Harbaugh. Harbaugh said something back to him. Harbaugh started running up the field, and Schwartz like, oh, wait up. I got some more stuff to say to you. And in the video, some douchebag lineman, 75, you can see him mouth say, what the F are you doing? And tries to push Schwartz out of the way, but Schwartz is still coming. And then Vernon Davis, DC's own, tries to stop something, and then Brandon Pettigrew tries to defend his coach. And then they just break off and they go. Now, to me, I know some people are like, this is embarrassing, To me, it was funny. It was funny as hell. But it's funny as hell because they're both in the wrong. One, Schwartz is in the wrong because I guess he got a little too hyped because his team was 5-0 and he thought he was on top of the world. And yeah, like me, he doesn't believe San Francisco's real. And then to see them lose, it's hurt. But then see this, some lame across the field celebrating and pumping his chest and all that stuff in your house. But even seeing all that, you're like, all right, you know what, I'm going to shake his hand. And then for him to do that move, but I really blame Harbaugh. This is his move. The dude is a total ass. He was an ass in Michigan. He was an ass. He was an ass when he played for the Bears. He was an ass in Indianapolis. That's why they cut his ass so they can get Peyton. He was an ass to Stanford. He did the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but sort of the same thing to Pete Carroll when Stanford and USC was playing. The dude, for some reason, he thinks he's still a player. You're not a player, dude. You're a coach. Coach, stop. I know as players you want to see your coach be there, ready to fight for y'all and everything. But, that's great in practice and behind the scenes, but you're on the field. And respect the shield. They don't want to see that. Belichick is probably a real big rah-rah guy in the back, but on the field, stone cold assassin. That dude is so cerebral. You can't tell if he's happy, mad, sad, or glad. It's just how it is. Maybe you need to start taking some pointers from the hoodie. You don't want to be Rex. Rex runs his mouth and he ain't got no rings to show for it. Onion rings, but no championship rings. So that was funny. Next topic, the Oakland Raiders. Whew. Them dudes need a GM. Really, some of the moves they made that just don't make any sense. And now they traded a number one in 2012 and a potential, and a number two, but it could end up to be a number one in 2013 for Carson Palmer. Overrated, bum knee, loves to whine, Carson Palmer. Really? A number one for this dude? He's not that. 2005 Carson Palmer? Yeah, I'd have traded for him. 2011? Hell no. I'd rather have Jesse Palmer. Carson Palmer, you gave up number one for Carson Palmer? Hugh Jackson's all in. I don't know the lady's name. I think Amy Stisnek or something like that was the CEO. Please, Amy, darling, baby, hire a GM because Hugh Jackson is going to run y'all in the ground. Because as of right now, the Raiders only have 2 draft picks in 2012, and that's in the 5th and 6th round. They still got receiver issues, line issues, D-line issues, and cornerback issues. But they only have 2 first. And then everybody hates the trade. Not everybody hates the trade, but everybody's like, ugh. You let Mike Brown get over on you. Mike Brown. The doofus of the NFL of owners, Mike Brown. And then your coach says that it was the greatest trade in NFL history. The greatest trade in NFL history? Nah, dude, nah. The only person who thinks that's a great trade, the only 2 people that think that's a great trade, names are Matt Millen and Vinny Serrato. Because those are the moves they would make. That was just a bad trade. Really, really bad trade. But we'll see. And lastly, Brandon Lloyd. Number 1 receiver, Brandon Lloyd, got traded this week. He got traded this week to St. Louis because Josh McDaniels wanted him. But he got traded from Denver to St. Louis for a 5th round pick. I'm sorry, a 6th round pick. He got traded for a 6th round pick. You're number 1 receiver for your team. You got traded for a 6th round pick. Now, it could be upgraded if you catch 30 passes over the next 11 games. And it could be upgraded to a 5th round pick. A 5th round pick. Now, I know of Brandon because when he used to play for the Redskins, because D.C. is my home. And Brandon is kind of a malcontent, ass, douche. And so I'm assuming he was doing those things in Denver. And then they just said, you know what, I don't need this. We're trying to screw TV over anyway. We don't need this. And also, we are also secretly in the Suck for Luck campaign, too. So they got rid of Brandon for a 6th-round pick. Oh, well. Brandon, if football doesn't work, you always got your rapping career. Here's an example.
I don't do this here for my health. I do this here for the wealth. And rap, I throw the ball to myself. They say B-Lloyd act like he bought for himself, but when you factor in the family, that attitude helps. These reporters never played a down or a quarter. Come to the crib, I can break down a pound or a quarter. You ain't got no views, man, these crackers will extort you. You ain't got no dreams, man, these clowns will distort you. I'm in Georgetown every day, like them Hoyas. I'm sitting in the lap of luxury. Everyday Christmas, I ask and it come to me. 4 or 5 whips, a big crib, and Ibiza jeans. You can compete with me selling jungle trees. Homie, you can't see me in your wildest dreams. Behind me is a mile of steam. Millennium Scrooge McDuck swimming in a mound of cream. MTV2 Sucker Freestyles. Sucker.
That's right, here's a sucker. Well, that was Kennedy. This is my Mayweather segment for this week. I'm your boy Kennedy. Send it back to the home studios and rock him out. See y'all next week.
All right, I'd like to thank Kennedy for that great segment today. But as I told you before the Mayweather segment, that I had something to say about the 49ers, and it had to do with them being right in the thick of things come the end of the season. I believe there's a possibility that the San Francisco 49ers could be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. Now, that is a bold statement, but here's why I say that. The San Francisco 49ers have the makeup of a champion. They're efficient with the pass. They're not great. They're not really good. They're good. And they're efficient with the pass. It seems they can run the ball at will. And they've got one heck of a defense led by Patrick Willis. And they're sitting at 5-1. Now, they're in the NFC West, which means they're in a division along with the St. Louis Rams, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Seattle Seahawks. There isn't a chance that either one of those teams will come back to win the division. There's no way that division is sending more than one team to the playoffs. The San Francisco 49ers are going to run away with that division and possibly win it by, 6 or 7 games. That's how bad that division is. So they'll probably end up with a first round bye. Now, if the Green Bay Packers go undefeated, then, they'll have the 1 seed and San Francisco will have the 2. They'll have the 2 seed. But that still means that come playoff time, they're going to have a first round bye, and someone's going to have to come to San Francisco to play a playoff game. And I'm not sure that they're the team I want to play in the playoffs. Just not sure. But, that's just me, 6 weeks in, still an early season. But that's just how I feel at the moment. I feel that this team, I think they're only going to get better as the season goes along. And, I think they have the potential to be really good. Now, if they end up falling short in the playoffs, then what we will know is they'll need to draft a quarterback, or they'll need to trade for a quarterback in order to get them over the hump. I'd be kind of shocked if they did do it with Alex Smith as their quarterback. But, like I said, it's an early season. Anything can happen. But that's just how I feel about that team. All right. Going to go ahead and wrap things up with the picks. We got San Diego at the New York Jets. I wanted to pick the Jets for this game, but I think San Diego is a better team. Last week I know I had them in my Fool's Gold group, and but I'm starting to think that this team's a little bit better than advertised, even though they're 4-1. I think they're a little bit better than advertised, given that I think they're going to go into New York, into the Meadowlands, and take care of the Jets in a low-scoring affair. I'm going San Diego 20-17. Seattle at Cleveland. This is one of those games that you have to pick. I have to pick a winner, but simply because it's on a schedule. But I like the Browns in this one. I had to pick a winner, so I'm picking the Browns 24-14. Redskins at Panthers. The Panthers have upset me during the last 2 weeks because I've had them as my upset pick, and they failed both times. So, and watch them come back and win this time. Actually, I think they have a good chance to win this week, but I'm not picking them again. I'm going Redskins over the Panthers, 26-7. Texans at Titans. Another one of those games, that could go either way, but I'm going with the home team on this one. I'm going with the Titans, 21-17. Broncos at Dolphins. Tim Tebow time in Denver. That stadium's going to be rocking, and it ain't going to be for the Dolphins. There's a lot of Florida fans down there dying to see Tim Tebow. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure he has a he has a game for the books, but I do think that the Broncos are better than the Dolphins, and I'm gonna go with Tim Tebow and co. I'm gonna go with them, 28-21. Bears at Buccaneers in London, Wembley Stadium. This one's another one up in the air. I don't think Tampa Bay is that much better than Chicago, but I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers on this one, simply because they got to London a little bit earlier than Chicago, so they've had more time to prepare and adapt to the time difference and work out all the jet lag kinks and so on and so on. But I like the Buccaneers in this one. I'm going Tampa Bay, 31-21. Falcons at Lions. I think this is going to be a bounce back game for the Lions. No more handshake gate this week for Jim Schwartz, but I think they take care of the Falcons at home. I'm going Lions, 35-31. Steelers at Cardinals. I like the Steelers for obvious reasons. They're a much better team up and down the board. I like the Steelers in a blowout, 21-3. Chiefs at Raiders. Carson Palmer. I think he's going to start, and I think he's going to actually play well. They're not going to have to throw the ball around that much because they have one of the best running games in the league, and I think that will ultimately be the reason why they are victorious over the Chiefs this week. So I'm taking the Raiders, 27-13. Packers at Vikings. I like the Packers for obvious reasons. The Vikings are horrible. Good luck, Christian Ponder. Green Bay's going to send the kitchen sink against that kid, and I just feel bad for him. I think this was going to get ugly quick. It's a division game, but still, it's like last week with Green Bay at St. Louis. I think it's another mismatch, and I think it's another blowout. Excuse me. In favor of Green Bay. I'm going Green Bay 38-10. Rams at Cowboys. I don't think the Rams have much of a chance at this one. The Cowboys, they lost their starting left guard, Bill Nagy, to a broken ankle, I think it is, or fractured ankle. But They've got some veterans. I don't think it'll make much of a difference against St. Louis. You know, the only thing that they got going for them is Steven Jackson, but Cowboys have number 1 run defense in the league, so I don't think he'll be much of a factor. And as if my memory serves me correct, I believe Sam Bradford is going to miss this game, and AJ Feely will be starting. So, you know, good luck, St. Louis, but I don't think you have much of a chance in this one. I'm taking Dallas 28-6. Colts at Saints, Sunday night game. I like the Saints in this one, obviously. I'm not giving the Colts much of a chance in this one. You know, I think Drew Brees is he's just going to eat them alive in the secondary. And I like the Saints big in this one, 35-3. Monday night, Ravens at Jaguars. And this is about as sure a pick as there are this week. But that's funny. There are a lot of you know, sure-handed picks this week. Going to be a lot of bets going on. But I think Baltimore is going to take this one easily, even though it's in Jacksonville. You know, they can't sell out a stadium. I'm sure if you could black out a Monday night game on ESPN, they would, you know, in Jacksonville. But I like the Ravens in this one. I'm going to go Baltimore 24-7. And that's going to wrap this week up. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in once again for Week 7, the Week 7 podcast of NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. Let us know in the comments what you think, what you're feeling, any questions that you got, any suggestions that you got for us for the show. And, you know, we'll get back to you in the comments or email us, nflreeltalk@gmail.com, nflreeltalk@gmail.com. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. And for Kennedy, this is Brandon signing out. You guys have a good one.